Sometimes you don't want a drone that costs hundreds of dollars or pounds, but is reliable enough to help you start out flying and take some basic pictures. So today, that's what I'm talking about, with the Snaptain SP500 foldable drone. Hello, I'm Ian in London and I play with many different models of drones, but today I'm reviewing an entry-level drone that may well fit the bill if you're after a cheaper drone for you or your kids to learn to fly with. Snaptain SP500 retails for around 170 US dollars or about 140 pounds, but it still comes with GPS, a fully functioning remote control, 2 batteries and a 1080p camera. So with that many features, I want to see how well they actually perform and whether or not it's worth the money. First off, let's have a little look at what you get in the box. One of the nice things you get is an actual real printed instruction manual, which is pretty useful and in very good English, and lays out all of the functions and features of both the drone itself, the remote control and the app. So a very useful, good addition, and I wish other manufacturers would follow suit. Inside you actually have the remote control. Let's pull it out. You've got a set of prop guards. You've got 2 batteries and the little drone itself, and a spare set of props, and also 3 charging units, and I will come on to those in a second. So like I said, got the drone, remote control, 2 batteries, instruction manual and 3 chargers. Quite simply, 1 is for the remote control and 2 are for the batteries, so that you can charge them simultaneously at the same time. Take around an hour and a half to 2 hours to charge everything up. The drone itself is, as I said, folding drone. It comes in at 220 grams, so basically it's under the 250 gram registration requirement for most countries like the USA, Canada, Europe and the UK. So even with the battery, it's still, as I said, about 220 grams. So that's something to keep in mind as well. First thoughts are camera, bit of a shame. It's a swivel camera, it's fixed. Which means once it's up flying, it is not going to be able to be adjusted. So you kind of have to have it pointing down at, I don't know, about 30 degrees, 35 degrees, and hope for the best. Also, I'm guessing it's not going to be that smooth. The video is going to be a bit jerky if the drone is moving around. That said, it is what it is. It's an entry-level drone. The remote control is straightforward enough. Comes with some chunky little handles, and you've got a little fold out so that you can clip your smartphone inside. And once it's fired up, the remote and the drone are connected. It also emits its own little Wi-Fi that your phone will connect to, and then you'll immediately get to see what's going on through the app. And I'll go more into that in a little bit. As I said, it's got 2 batteries. The specs say that the batteries have got a max flight time of around 15 minutes. So in practice, you're probably going to have around 12 minutes. So either way, the 2 of them fully charged are going to give you about 25 minutes worth of fun. It's got GPS, so that it will record the takeoff point. It has got a low battery automatic return to home, as well as lost signal return to home, or just a manual return to home if you just want it to come back and you're a bit too lazy to fly it back. The remote control is quite intuitive as well. It's standard control functions. It has dedicated buttons for calibrating the compass and calibrating the gyro or the IMU, which is quite handy. It's got a speed setting, so you can go into a faster speed mode. When you first fire up, it will start off in beginner mode, which restricts how fast it goes and how far it goes, only about 30 meters or yards from the takeoff point. Once you use the app to take it out of beginner mode, you'll then have the 2 speeds, standard or fast. You've got the automatic takeoff and landing. So you certainly get everything you need to start having fun and get flying. Why don't we go outside? I'll charge everything up rather, and then we'll go outside and have a little bit of fun. So a bit of a chilly breezy day, but that'll be good to see how it handles the wind. Takes about 2 hours to charge up the batteries and the remote. Now I've got to pair up the drone and the remote and sort out the app as well. So just a single long press to start the drone, and likewise a single long press to start the remote. Yes, Ted, I know. It's all right. Shush. Yeah. It's just another drone. So I have to say the app was pretty painless to fire up actually. You download the app, load it up, switch on the remote, switch on the drone, they pair almost immediately. You then change your phone's Wi-Fi to the Snaptain Wi-Fi network, and almost immediately you see that, hello Molly, you've actually got the direct feed from the drone itself straight onto the screen. First thing it tells you to do is calibrate the compass and calibrate the gyro. They've actually got dedicated buttons for that. You've got a compass calibration and a gyro calibration there. So if you press and hold that for 3 seconds, it bleeps. Just got to do the simple little dance. And then down. Okay. And then calibrate the gyro on a flat screen and press and hold the gyro button. And then once you've done thank you. Once you've done both of those, you get the ready to fly logo, which literally tells you that. So remember, this is a GPS drone, so it will record the home point, and the idea is if you lose signal, it will come back to you. It also has a pre-configured 25-meter high return to home altitude, which should take it over any trees that are nearby. So without further ado, I think it's time for our inaugural takeoff. You have got an automatic takeoff button. You've also got the ability to take off manually. Right, up it goes. Right, so he's a little bit, I wouldn't call him completely stable. You can see he's wobbling about quite a bit. It's quite a stiff breeze today actually. It's probably doing a nice little test for him, but he's quite responsive. It's got a very wide angle lens. You can see how the horizon has got a bit of a fisheye effect. Right, let's take him for a little fly. Sadly, one of the things I'm seeing straight away is that not being on a gimbal, the moment you take any photo or video, if he's having to pitch his position in order to fight the wind, your photos are going to be a little bit wonky. Got a very nice display there. You can see the remote battery, you can see the drone's battery quite clearly. Okay, he's doing an auto land here. That's pretty impressive. Let's see if he lands on the hand. All right, just go and change batteries. So again, if you change the battery, the moment that drone switches off, your phone will probably jump back to your home network if you're in your back garden. So again, you're going to need to reconnect to the right to the Snaptain Wi-Fi, but the moment you do, again, straight away you get the live feed from your camera. So the remote itself has actually got a nice sturdy little feel. Obviously it's a very lightweight drone, it's a very lightweight remote, but you've got these two nice little handles that swing out and the pop-up holder to hold your phone in place as well. The layout is pretty much what you'd expect. You've got the joysticks, you've got some various functional buttons as well, including a quick button to sort out your compass and also the gyro. You've got a button dedicated to headless mode being where no matter which way the drone is facing, left is left and right is right. Whereas on most drones, when the drone changes its orientation, then left becomes right and right becomes left. It can get quite confusing. Right, the wind's dropped down a bit now, so hopefully we'll get to have a bit of a better fly. And up we go. You do have a speed mode, so you can, now it should fly quite a bit faster. So it's like sports mode if you like. So if you take him out of beginner mode, you can then increase the distance that he goes and how high he goes. Return to home altitude I will keep as it is. So now when we take him off, he should fly off quite a bit happier. There we go. He has got a low battery automatic return to home. That actually kicked in on my last flight. If I do a return to home now, see how accurate he is. So he's going up to his height. So he's got a preset height of 25 meters, which is probably a little bit higher than I'd have liked on a windy day like today, but still. So he's coming straight above me, and now he's stopped. And now he's going to try and descend. Oh, well, he's certainly found the location, so he's 25 meters above me, so about 70 feet, 75 feet, dropping down now. Okay, so the return to home works pretty good. So about 10 feet out, and you can't actually stop him descending. When you've told him to return to home, that's it. He will literally just descend down, and lucky there wasn't a dog there. But the moment he lands, all good and proper there. So a little bit too breezy today to try out all the intelligent flight modes that it's got, and it has actually got a fair old few packed up its sleeve. It's got waypoints where you can actually plot out on a map where you want it to fly, and then it will fly in that particular location and direction. It's got circular mode where you're going to be the point of interest and it will fly around you, keeping you the center of attention, and it's got follow me mode as well. As most of you will know, I'm used to flying DJI drones, and this definitely is not a DJI drone. But it is what it is. It's a very, very feature-packed and capable little drone. It's quite a windy day today, and it didn't get blown away, which is good. It's got a nice beginner mode. It's got a very intuitive app that has got all of the functions that you'd want. It's very well laid out. It's got a low battery return to home that did kick in on one of my flights, and it brought it straight back and landed nicely on my hand. Right, back inside, bit chilly out there, has to be said, a bit breezy. I wasn't able to go through all of the smart functions, but I was able to give it a good run for its money. What are my thoughts? Well, this is what it is. It's a very reasonably priced entry-level drone that comes packed with loads of features. It's got a decent working battery life of around 12 minutes with a spec time of 15 minutes. The drone has got a proper range of up to around 200 yards or meters and can go right up to 400 feet in height. The remote control looks and feels and works like a normal drone remote control, and it's got a very simple layout, as I said, with all the main buttons you're going to need. It pairs almost immediately with the drone when you first switch them on, and the signal strength is constantly displayed on the app. And on that, the app is extremely well laid out with very clear functions, and crucially, it works well. The moment you switch your phone onto the Snaptain's Wi-Fi network, the app displays the live view and you're good to go. But be aware that the Wi-Fi is 5 GHz, not the more common 2.4 GHz. So do make sure that your mobile phone can see 5G, 5 GHz Wi-Fi networks if you're going to get this drone. As I said, being GPS enabled, it does record the takeoff point for it to automatically return to home if the signal is lost. Snaptain also has a manual return to home for when you want it to come back, as well as an automatic low battery return to home to make sure it comes back before it completely falls flat. And these are of course useful features that are going to help a new flyer from actually losing the drone. So with all these good points, I have to say it is let down a little bit by the camera. Pictures and video are stored on a micro SD slot that you can put your own micro SD card in. But the camera is quite low resolution, just 1080p video and just 2 megapixel photos. It's got a very wide field of view, which means everything is going to have a fisheye effect. And with no gimbal to smooth things out, as I predicted, the pictures are going to be very crooked and your video will be very jerky. Add to that the disappointing colour, and you do realise that this camera will only ever be good for giving you fun pictures and video. But as mentioned, we do have to remember what this is. It's a budget entry-level drone that's trying to pack in a ton of useful features and specs whilst keeping the price very low. And that ultimately is what this drone is all about. It's less than half the price of the Mavic Mini, so it's a fairly inexpensive way to get yourself or your kids into droning without the fear of wasting a load of money if it crashes. It's got good range, GPS positioning with return to home, 2 batteries giving you a total of just under half an hour flight time, intuitive app with loads of useful features and an okay camera. But kids are going to love the pictures, and crucially they're going to be learning how to fly a drone with the same skills that will be needed for a higher price model. So there you go. I'll put a link up to some of the other entry-level drone reviews that I've done in the past. I've got more tutorials on the way, so hit the old subscribe and bell if you want to get notified, and thumbs me up if you like video. Don't thumbs me down if you don't like the drone. Instead, it would be a lot better if you actually just leave your thoughts and comments below. Way more fun and interesting, and crucially, you won't mess up the dreaded YouTube algorithms for me. Either way, until next time, have fun, happy flying.